Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Miguel, and this is the Didn't Anyone Mention podcast. What do you got for me today?
I guess, yeah. I've seen like
Welcome. Um, I have a I have a follow-up topic.
Follow up.
Yes.
What do you got?
Do you have any guesses what it is?
Krakatoa.
It's Roanoke. But yes.
But that Krakatoa was for my boy Steve. He is the only one that understands, since apparently you don't.
I bet you anything plenty of people know. So I'm just a single soul. So do you know when America was like founded?
1776, baby.
Okay.
Best year alive.
Was it? Is that when we found out? Do you know when we first got over, started trying to colonize over here?
1619.
You are confidently saying so many things right now.
1619 is a wild guess, but I do know that's the start of slavery.
Stop. I'm taking you back to the 1500s.
So 16.
Roanoke. I'm guessing plenty of people know about Roanoke, unless your name is Miguel. What the heck? I can't believe you didn't know about Roanoke.
I can tell you honestly. When you told me Roanoke, I was like, that's kind of a weird name.
like I guess if you had to learn about U.S. history, do you remember any places that were colonized like right off the bat? Besides 13 colonies. Yeah, everybody knows 13.
Yeah, I know the 13 colonies.
But do you know any of the name? Like you just don't know any.
The names.
Yeah.
New Plymouth was one of them, right? Philadelphia was one.
I don't think Philadelphia was one. I don't think at least that's what it started off as. But Jamestown.
Jamestown, yes.
That was one of the first successful ones. Okay.
Yeah, I remember Jamestown.
So, I'm taking you back to August of 1587. This is still also Roanoke is a mystery. Still people don't know what happened. Genuine historians, everything they don't know what happened. So
that's so crazy to me.
They've dug up the ground, they just don't know what happened.
How do we supposedly have religious texts from way earlier, but we don't know what happened 500 years ago?
I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Oh, so you know.
I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you the story. So in August of 1587, there was about 115 English settlers, right?
Okay.
They settled on Roanoke Island, which is it's off the coast of North Carolina.
Okay.
It was a failed.
A failed state?
Yeah, well, obviously it failed, but there was a further there was a failed attempt of colonization 2 years prior. This was supposed to make it stick, right? So we had come over, we've checked it out a couple times, but
what made it fail is just
they just wouldn't have the resources. I think it's also with Native Americans, things like that. There was other factors that were involved that they weren't anticipating. But this was technically the first permanent English outpost in the New World, quote unquote.
Interesting.
So John White is his name. He was going to be the governor of the new colony. It was decided because they were there, and later that year he was like, you know what, I'm gonna sail back to England and get a fresh load of supplies, and then I'll be right back. He's gonna sail across the freaking ocean,
the ocean,
grab
blue.
some supplies, and come back. The governor just left his people. Huh?
So it started way back then, huh?
I'm just saying, delegate? I don't know. You gotta do it all yourself.
You have an intern I can go do it. It's okay, buddy. I'll be back in 9 months.
Yeah, he left his wife, his daughter, his baby granddaughter. She's technically the first English child born in the Americas. I was like, you know what? I'll be back.
I'll be back.
You know how when he came back? 3 years later.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Figures.
he arrived. The major naval broke out between a naval war between England and Spain had broken out, and Queen Elizabeth called every available ship to fight this war. So pretty much.
Oh, so he was in war.
Yeah, so they were like, you can't use your ship to go back. We need to fight this war. So sucks to suck.
How long did it take for him to travel from?
I don't know how long it took.
I'm curious to know.
But we could find out.
Yeah.
That's here. You leave it alone. Do this.
Okay.
But so, and then in August, so almost exactly 3 years since since they got there, because it was later in the year that he had left. So it was a few months after. John White returned back to Roanoke, where he had left, like I said, his wife, his daughter, and granddaughter, and found no one.
When he came back?
No trace of the colony. No trace of the colony itself.
Or his family?
No inhabitants. Nothing. The only thing was carved on a wooden post, CROATOAN. Nothing was there.
CROATOAN.
Nothing was there besides that one word carved in a post.
That's where I got Krakatoa from.
Yeah.
By the way, it takes 6 to 8 weeks to sail across the ocean blue from the U.S. to England.
So say 2 months on max. He was gone for 2.5 years.
So he came back, was like, I can't wait to see my family.
He was like, finally here. Nothing.
That would drive me mad.
Nothing. Only one single word. So
CROATOAN?
CROATOAN. It was the name of an island south of Roanoke that was the home of a Native American tribe of the same name. So people were like, maybe they were killed and abducted by those people. Maybe that's what had happened. You never know. This was their land. We just tried to take it, and maybe that was an outlash. But that's literally the story of Roanoke. Simple as that. That is how simple it is, because there's genuinely nothing to say that anything else happened. People think that maybe they sailed back to England and they got lost at sea.
The people's bodies weren't even there?
Nope. Nothing. No proof of anything. Some people were like, oh, maybe they just went into the wrong spot. Nope. It was in the right spot. They think that maybe they had, gone further inland and then just, absorbed into a different tribe, into a friendly tribe. So, maybe just the Native Americans just kind of took them in and just let them be part of, how long do you wait around if you're waiting for supplies? And at the end of the year, that's cold. It's cold on the East Coast sometimes. North Carolina isn't super cold. But it can get real cold, I know that.
That's crazy, is that there was not even one body? Everything was just gone?
Everything was gone. It was like it never even happened. Besides that one post with CROATOANs written into it.
Did they go visit CROATOAN people?
They knew they were there. That's why they didn't go to that island. They went to their own island.
But is there any record of people going oh, maybe it's saying to go there?
They couldn't find them. Because they went there and their people weren't there.
At CROATOAN either?
CROATOAN, they couldn't find their people. They were gone.
What the fuck?
So, it sounds like in 2007, they tried to get, DNA, from the local families and figure out, who maybe was, related. But despite, but all that stuff, they they still haven't been able to figure it out. And the most that they can find is lineage back to Jamestown, which is the other, first colony-ish, that was there. But, there's still, you can still go to Roanoke, obviously, but it was nothing. Like, it's crazy. There's nothing there. Like, genuinely, they had nothing.
No structures, nothing.
So it's not like they could even say like, oh, this was, there. This is it. Nothing. But let me see.
Is there aliens involved?
Dude, maybe. But they have. Sorry. There's like obviously plenty of stuff where people are like, oh, there's some creepy stuff.
Oh,
People say you walk through the woods at night and you feel something's there.
In the island?
In the island.
Ooh.
And it says that there's maybe a lost like colony mystery, but everything's there. You can feel it. Like it's heavy on like the air there. But they when you have tombstone that are there to mark the grave, but yet there's nobody like there because they didn't have bodies to bury. They just assumed we were dead.
That is so. And they searched both islands.
They searched islands. They went inland. They went everywhere. But it was 3 years later. Like, how much can you walk in 3 years? How far could you go in 3 years? They just never found them.
What are the odds? I don't know if they had any extra ships on the island.
They didn't have anything. They all came in one ship.
Oh, well.
What are you thinking? Tell me.
Only thing I can think of is maybe they tried to swim across.
But like, why would you swim? Also, if it's cold, like, why would you go swimming in the cold water?
The East Coast generally has warmer water.
But in the winter, December.
I don't know.
And who knows? They could have waited 6 months. They could have waited a year. Like, how long do you like I said? Like, how long do you wait?
Or they got abducted by aliens. Yeah, I don't know.
Or even like
that's so crazy. This is real. This actually happened.
Yes.
What the fuck?
I know. So that's why so many like scary stories or like, I know like yeah like I think I said it in a couple episodes like ago is like American Horror Story kind of did one up based off of it, but they like kind of also they're like, well, maybe the Spaniards like when they were like conquering Florida, maybe they like got them, but like they like there was just no evidence of anything that happened.
Dude, that is so crazy.
But people say it's like just so spooky around there. They just like the air feels heavy. They're like this like it just feels like you hear giggling, you hear like voices.
If I hear giggling anywhere in the forest,
things just go like I think the East Coast just also has so much history, death, like I think that kind of gets mixed in with it.
Oh yeah. For sure.
But it is it's a pretty simple yet it's just what's so sad about it is that nobody knows. Like I tried to see like anybody, but it's just all hypothesize.
This might sound morbid, but has anybody tried to look for bodies around the island underwater?
They dug, I don't know, underwater, but they've excavated?
Well,
dug up the ground? What is that called?
Excavate?
Oh, excavate.
For what?
Hopefully find bodies or something. Weapons, maybe arrows, something. That would show that they died.
What? You say the CROATOAN? CROATOAs?
CROATOAN.
CROATOAN. Yeah, not the CROATOAs. They just totally disappeared too?
No, just that tribe. Like, I guess, not that tribe was there, not that, just that colonization, sorry. Because technically, how they refer to it in history is, like, colonization was, like, the English settlement.
Right.
And then tribes were native to the land. I don't know why they're still a tribe either way, I feel like. Or colonization either way.
This whole thing doesn't make sense in my head.
That's why it's one of the biggest mysteries. Because I just don't know, because they didn't find evidence of any kind of writing. The only writing was CROATOAN. So then they were like, they did it, and of course they were like, nah, we didn't do it. They aren't here. What are you talking about? And it's only, no, think about it, it was only 3 years.
How far away are the islands?
They're like, I don't think they're super far.
Like if we had 2 weeks to get from Roanoke to CROATOAN.
Oh, less than that.
Really, we could get that?
I think it's technically one of the islands that is considered like North Carolina.
I need to see a map because I cannot.
Okay, pause it.
I'm like going crazy. This shit doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, looking at it, it still doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it helps me visualize it. I can see. I don't know. I guess I'm just having a hard time wrapping my mind around this whole disappearance, which I guess is why it's so infamous.
Yeah. So that's where, because there's like this like weird little like land that kind of surrounds that Roanoke Island, and it kind of, it's kind of like the like Florida where it has like a little stretch and then it has ocean and then maybe has a little bit more land and then it has ocean again and then like the body of like land, like the bigger body land.
Mm-hmm.
But that island, I mean, technically it couldn't be more than just a little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump over to like that little like beach practically only.
Yeah.
Like barrier.
Sandbar probably.
Yeah, sandbar kind of thing. Because that's, I think, what, I mean, if you think about it, you're like, oh, that's perfect. It's like a little barrier kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like nobody can come after you. So I think that's why they picked it, because it was right off the bat. But it's, unfortunately, there's not, like nowadays, obviously we have like roads and bridges and whatever, so it's easy and accessible. But back then, there's nothing to hold you back. So I don't know, and CROATOAN was like, what, just a little bit down? It was technically based off of that sandbar.
Dude, this is like blowing my mind. Why can't we still can't figure it out?
Mm-mm.
Even the blood test didn't conclude anything?
No.
Aliens.
I just think aliens were like, you know what? I don't want them to suffer.
These guys are already secluded. Let's just take them back for harvesting.
How awful. Your wife, your daughter, and your granddaughter.
And then you'll just never find him again.
Mm-mm.
I wonder if he spent the rest of his life looking for him.
I would, but I don't know. He left him in the first place, so he's kind of a dingleberry.
I mean,
You could have sent someone else.
I don't know.
He was like the governor.
Maybe it meant something different back in the day.
I guess. You'd think that he'd be like, you know what, I'm going to stay here and run it. I'm going to work this out.
Not round here, partner. Not round here.
Partner. Not around here. Yeah. But I know it was kind of short and simple, but that's all I really got for Roanoke.
I mean, there's literally nothing else.
Yeah.
Maybe AI will solve it one day.
One day they'll be like, you know what? And it could have been Spaniards came up, could have been Native American, it could have been literally anything.
The Comanches.
I don't know, dude.
Wrong area. I think they were in Texas.
I don't think that's that area, but you never know.
Dude, that is actually so crazy.
But
I still can't wrap my mind around it. Doesn't make any sense in my
I bet
head.
that's why you just never thought about it, because you were like, oh, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense.
It's a possibility.
You heard about it, you're like, that's fucking made up.
Don't believe it.
So you're like, whatever. I'm not gonna listen to that one.
It's a possibility. But you got anything else?
I got nothing. That was it.
Well, thanks for joining us this week.
Yeah. See you later, alligator.
Toodaloo, buckaroos.